His wise investing.
You guys can keep them.
Right here.
You ready?
Yeah. We'd like to thank everyone who's come here today to pay their respects to James Scott Vest. We're here to honor his life and his memory, in memory of Scott. My name is Bishop Chad Griffiths of the North Park Ward where he lived, and I've been asked to conduct these graveside services. We want to start the service this morning by having an opening prayer by a friend and good neighbor, Jenny Kirsch.
Our Heavenly Father, we come before thee this day and thank you for this time that we can meet together, even though it's in silence. We are so grateful for Scott and his life and the many people that he's touched. We would invite thy Spirit and ask for thy Spirit to be here as a comfort and a blessing to all of us, especially his dear loved ones that will miss their friend, brother, and caring one for a time. We would ask for thy sweet blessings to be with their loved ones and those that can attend at this time. We thank you for everything, especially for Scott and his life, and ask for thy blessings to be upon this service at this time. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Thank you, Jenny. We'd like to recognize the pallbearers at this time. They were Josh Vest and Dan Vest, who were nephews to Scott. And the following are American Red Cross volunteers: George Mueller, Bill Malone, Steve Nelson, Gary Robinson, Dave Price, and Jeff Hoover. I'd like to thank them for their services. The program will go as follows. George Mueller of the Red Cross will have a few remarks, and then Steve Vest, his brother, will give a few family remarks as well. Then I will close with a few remarks, and then I will dedicate the grave, and that will be the services. George?
Good morning. Sorry to be here for this rare occasion, but I'm privileged to help the family out and dedicate to Steve. James Scott Vest, everybody knew him as Scott, was born on 14 May 1957 at Fitzsimmons Army Medical Center in Aurora, Colorado. Growing up, Scott traveled throughout the United States and many parts of the world with his family. He lived in Colorado, Utah, California, and Germany. Scott built a career in the service industry and held many positions. The following allowed him to do a lot of traveling. He worked as a firefighter, police officer, paramedic, EMT, and EMT instructor. Most recently, he was working as an application manager for security systems. One of Scott's most significant accomplishments was volunteering with the Red Cross, as many of us here have worked with him, know him. He amassed over 3,000 hours both in the field and the chapter teaching emergency response vehicles, public affairs, first aid, and many other assignments in the local Red Cross chapter. Scott worked during Hurricane Katrina relief operations in 2005 and later many other disaster operations, most recently during the Dollar Ridge fire. He was always willing to respond to any emergency when asked, and sometimes responded without even being asked, as there was always people in need of his help. Scott received the countless awards for all of his amazing contributions to others. Probably had got a lot more than that he didn't get an award for. Not only to the Red Cross, but also his response to fires, accidents, and other events where his expertise was needed. He was asked to be the head EMT person during the women's roller skating competition, Element 11, and Burning Man events in Nevada. Scott thoroughly enjoyed the outdoors, including camping, fishing. One area he really shined was in photography, which was also a side gig. Scott was an incredible friend and mentor to many, including some of us here, and he responded whenever he was needed. He always had everyone's best interest at heart, and he just downright cared. An active member of a ham radio organization, Scott will now join the membership as a silent key for those members who have passed. Page 45. His big brother will always remember him as his buddy and friend, as they shared a lot of great times together. Scott truly dedicated his life to helping others, and this is how he will be remembered. He was a big guy with a big heart, who was loved and will be greatly missed. Scott is survived by his brother Steve, wife Kay, sister Sonja, London, nephews Josh, wife Nancy, Dan, wife Audrey, niece Gwen Ann Roberts, Aunt Lenora Coney, and Aunt Cheryl, husband Jed Hammond, and Uncle Mike, wife Peggy Landon. He also survived by 4 great nieces, Daisy, Alexis, Tyler, and Lily, and 2 great nephews, Braden and Carter, and even 2 great-great-nephews, nieces, Serenity and Liv. Scott was preceded in death by his parents Grant and Patricia, grandparents Hillman and Ethel London, and Edwin and Ophi Smith Vest, and his brother Daniel Vest. Is there anyone here who would like to make some thoughts about Scott? Feel free to come forward.